Okay, today we're going to be writing equations given a graph. Okay, so our essential question for today is going to be, how do you write an equation given a graph? And when we are given a graph, we have 3 steps to do in order to write the equation. First step, we're going to identify the y-intercept. So we got to know where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, and next is identify the slope. And once we have the y-intercept and the slope, we can plug it into our slope-intercept form. So just a few little notes that we want to write. Remember, y-intercept, that is our b, and our slope, that is our m, in our slope-intercept form. And together we can write it out. Slope-intercept form is going to be y equals mx plus b. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do 4 examples together. So let's say we have this graph and we need to do our steps. So step one was going to be find the y-intercept. So b, let's see what b is. So I know the y-intercept is going to be this line right here. So I gotta know, where does it cross on this line? In this case, it crosses right here at 0. Okay, so it crosses at 0. If you want to put the point, we can put 0, 0. But we're getting 0 from this section. Okay. And now we need to find our slope. Our step number 2 is going to be find our slope. And let's see what our slope is. So I know the easiest thing to do is choose the y-intercept and then choose another number that is on a perfect point. Okay, so in this case, a perfect point like here, that's not a perfect point. So I'm going to go to the next one. Here, right here, that's a good point right there. So we're going to go from the red to the orange and see how much we rise and how much we run. Because remember, slope is the change of x over the change of y over the change of x, which is the rise over run. Let's see what our rise is. So from red to green, we rose 1, 2. So I know that's going to be a plus 2 in the top, so plus a 2. Over, how much do we go over? 1. So plus 1. Our run is going to be our plus 1. So we can put it all together. Our m is equal to 2 over 1, or just simply a 2. Okay, so now that we have our y-intercept and our slope, we can put it into our slope-intercept form. Our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and we have m to be 2 and b to be 0. So our equation will be y equals 2 x plus 0, or we can simply just erase the plus 0, because if you plus 0, you're not really doing anything. So our equation is just y equals 2x. This next one, let's go ahead and find our two things. So first we're going to find our slope, or y-intercept. Our y-intercept is our first step. So y-intercept, it has to pass through this y-axis, and we can see right here at -3, at 0, -3, it's where it crosses, right? And so if we write the point 0, -3, we always get the y value for the y-intercept. Okay, so that is our y-intercept. Let's find our slope. So step number 2, let's find our slope. Remember that slope is rise over run, or change in y over change of x. And so we need to find another point. And so if we look over here, there's no other point that we can find. So I'm going to go and look on this side. Okay. So if we look at the point, this is not a perfect point, so I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to go further up. This one right here, that seems like a good point. Okay, so from red to orange, or orange to red, it doesn't really matter which one you go from. We're going to see how much we rise and then go over. So we are going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we rise 7. So our rise is plus 7 over, how much did we run? 1, 2, 3. We went to the left, right? And so going to the left, we go to the negative, so it's going to be negative 3. So we got our ratio 7 over negative 3, or just negative 7 over 3. Okay. Step 3 will be plug in the b and the m into our slope-intercept form. So we got y equals mx plus b. Our m is negative 7 over 3. X plus a negative 3. But however, right here at plus negative, we can go ahead and just write minus 3. So y equals negative 7 over 3, x minus 3. This next one, let's go ahead and find our y-intercept. So step number 1, our y-intercept, let's see, it has to cross this x-axis, and we can see that it crosses very neatly right here at negative 2. So here, let's put negative 2. Our step 2, which is our slope, let's see. So all of these are really good points, so we can choose any point. So if I choose this one, it doesn't really matter. I can choose this one over here. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. So we can see from red to orange, or from orange to red, we're not going up at all, right? So if we're not going up, our rise is going to be 0. And our run, we went over 1, so we put over 1. And so if we put this in the calculator, 0 divided by 1 is just 0. So our slope is 0. So let's put it all together. So step number 3, we got y equals mx plus b. We have y equals 0x plus a negative 2. We can change this plus negative into a minus, so let's go ahead and just put minus 2. And then the other thing that we can do, since we have this 0 times x, or 0x, 0 times x, we don't really need to put that there. So we can go ahead and just take that out and just put it as y equals negative 2. So that means that there's only a line crossing the negative 2 for the y-axis. So this one is going to be a special case, and by the look of this graph, we already know is undefined, right? Because slope dude, he goes down and falls off the edge of the cliff, and he says undefined, right? So when we find our y-intercept, or I don't know what I'm doing. So let's do step number 1. Our y-intercept, we see this blue line is not even crossing the y-axis, so we don't have one, and we can't put 0 because it's not crossing at 0. So we're gonna put none. Okay. Step number 2 will be finding our slope, and we already know a slope is undefined. So if I have nothing for my y-intercept and undefined for my slope, I can't use my slope-intercept form. I can't use y equals mx plus b. Okay, I can't use that. Okay, what I am going to use is I'm going to use another form, but it's going to start with an x, and then I'm going to show at what x value it's crossing. And so it's crossing right here at positive 5. So my equation is just going to be x equals 5. Okay, and that's it. This is a very special case. If you have undefined for your slope, it's basically going to be x equals, and then wherever it crosses the x-axis.